This is Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl. Now from the Collins Aerospace Studio at the Nordloff Center in downtown Rockford, here's your host, Eric Wilson.
We are moving right along in Bergstrom's State Line Quiz Bowl Season 9. We're so glad you chose to join us this weekend for what's bound to be a fantastic game. We're used to that, right, if you've been watching throughout the seasons. This one is actually another first. These two teams have never met up in the history of our tournament. One of those teams is the Lena-Winslow Panthers. How about a nice round of applause for them? Seventh time in 9 years, Lena-Winslow has participated in the bowl, lost to Pearl City by just a couple of questions last season. Today, they only need two people to win the game. Will and Sally are here. Will is the captain. Will, introduce us to your starting lineup.
Hello, I'm Will. This is my good friend, Sally.
You guys are going to become even better friends by the end of this game, I can tell. And don't let just having two players discourage you. We all saw how Thomas from Dixon did playing by himself. I mean, he moved on. He won. He basically won against River Ridge on his own. It was just him. So don't let that being shorthanded worry you at all. The Belvidere Bucks here with a full team with lots of smiles on their faces and ready to go. Belvidere's actually participated in our tournament since season 1. Last 4 seasons ended up in the Final Four. At one point, they were in our finale. They've twice taken home the consolation championship. Big shoes to fill, David, but you guys look like you're ready to go. Introduce us to your starting lineup.
Hi, I'm David. To my right is Gabe. To my near left is Lindsay. And to my far left is Angie.
Good luck to both of our teams. Shall we play a game? You ready to go? It's our buzz-in round. That's how we start. Two most important rules. Wait for me to call your name. Say your answer loudly and clearly. Let's get going, shall we? What author of the play A View from the Bridge also wrote about Biff and Happy, the sons of failed businessman Willie Loman? David.
Miller.
That is correct. In Death of a Salesman. I was trying to complete the sentence and say correct at the same time. I mashed them up. Arthur Miller is right. Nice work. You're first on the board. What holiday, whose grandmother was 94-year-old former school teacher Opal Lee, celebrates the end of slavery and became a federal holiday? David.
Juneteenth.
Yes, federal holiday in 2021. Which solar system planet has a retrograde rotation so slow its day is longer than its year? David.
Venus.
That's right. The year is 224 Earth days, the day 243. 3 in a row, Belvedere. What particle oscillates between 3 flavors, has a tiny but non-zero mass, barely interacts with matter, and has a name meaning little neutral one? David.
Neutrino.
Yes, you got it. 4 in a row. Marco Polo supposedly visited the court of what Mongol leader who founded China's? David.
Kublai Khan.
Yes, you got it. Founded the Yuan dynasty and ordered 2 failed invasions of Japan. What city whose jumbo floating restaurant sank in 2022 contains Kowloon, north of Victoria Harbor, and in 1997 was handed over from the UK? Will.
Sydney.
Incorrect. I will finish for Belvedere. From the UK to China. David.
Hong Kong.
Hong Kong is correct. What British author wrote about Tony's trip to Brazil in A Handful of Dust and portrayed the alcoholic Lord Sebastian Flight in Brideshead Revisited? Lindsay.
Smith.
Incorrect. Lena-Winslow, you can take these points. Will.
Dickens.
Incorrect. Waugh. Evelyn Waugh. What battle in which Strong Vincent led a defense of Little Round Top and Pickett's charge failed? David.
Gettysburg.
Yes, was an 1863 Union victory in Pennsylvania, also the site of one of the most famous speeches in history. What unusually colored animal titles a book by Nassim Taleb about improbable events and a 2010 movie starring Natalie Portman as a ballet dancer? Will.
Swan.
Can you be more specific?
No answer.
We'll clear that out. Belvedere, you have a chance to answer. Go ahead, Lindsay.
Black Swan.
Black Swan is correct. You got that, right? What term, coined from the Greek for a way down by Michael Faraday, is an electrode that is a site of reduction and is connected to an anode? David?
Cathode.
Cathode is right. What author described a rough beast that slouches toward Bethlehem in his poem, The Second Coming? And David?
W.B. Yeats.
Yes, and also wrote many poems about his native Ireland. The Haber-Bosch process is used to produce over 200 million tons per year of what gas? David?
Ammonia.
Yes, the gas used to make fertilizer. What first ever U.S. delegate to the United Nations previously organized Marian Anderson's concert at the Lincoln Memorial as FDR's First Lady? Will?
Eleanor Roosevelt.
That is correct. Eleanor Roosevelt. Lena-Winslow is on the board. What band whose album Aqualung contains locomotive breath? Will?
The Beatles.
Incorrect. I will finish for Belvidere. Is led by flutist Ian Anderson and shares its name with the inventor of the seed drill. We like to throw in questions every once in a while for your parents. That was Jethro Tull. That's the name of that band, and we're out of time for the round. Belvidere's off to a very strong start. Triple digits already in the first round. Nice work. Lena-Winslow, you're on the board. 100 points seems like a lot right now, but we've got 3 rounds to play. Again, don't get too discouraged. We've got our volleyball round next where there's plenty of points on the line, and then lightning, there's a ton of points on the line. We've got a lot of game to play, and we'll have that volleyball round for you after this break. We're back for round 2 after Belvidere's off to a really strong start. 110 points already. Lena-Winslow's on the board with 10. There's a lot of points available again for the rest of this game. We've got volleyball coming up next. It's conferring round. We're just going to go back and forth until we run out of time. And because of our coin flip, Lena-Winslow gets the first question. Will, are you ready? Here we go. What man ran for president on the Reform Party ticket in 1996 after drawing nearly 20 million votes as an independent candidate in 1992?
Al Gore.
Incorrect. Ross Perot, famous for his giant sucking sound warning about jobs leaving the U.S. No points there. Belvidere, here's your first question of the round. What event whose 109th edition began in Copenhagen in July 2022 is a major annual cycling race that always finishes on the Champs-Élysées in Paris?
Tour de France.
Tour de France is right. Yep. Those are your points. We're back over to Lena-Winslow. In what type of fraction, such as 5/3, is the numerator greater than the denominator? The buzzer got you. Improper fraction. Back to Belvidere. What painting in which the god Zephyr blows the title goddess toward the shore is by Sandro Botticelli and depicts a love goddess on a shell?
The Birth of Venus.
Yes, you got it, and you got the full title, too. It might be easy to come up with the goddess's name, but you got the full title of that painting. We're back over to Lena-Winslow. What author wrote about Major Kovalyov, who traverses St. Petersburg in search of a missing body part in the 1836 Russian short story, The Nose?
Tolstoy.
Gogol. But that's worth a guess if you're not sure. Throw out that name. Back to Belvidere. Theodore Maiman built the first of what devices which use a gain medium to achieve a population inversion that generates coherent beams of light?
Laser.
Yes. The light amplification by stimulated emission of radiation is what that acronym stands for. Back to Lena-Winslow. Jason Alexander played hapless George Costanza on what 90s TV series, which was often called A Show About Nothing?
Seinfeld.
That's correct. You knew that one quickly, too. I'll give you both half credit for that because I think Sally leaned over and contributed. You've got 20 now. Back to Belvidere. What political party, currently led by Keir Starmer and previously led by Jeremy Corbyn and Tony Blair, is Great Britain's main left-wing party?
Labor.
Yeah, you got it. After consulting with your teammates, good strategy. That's right. Those are your points. Back to Lena-Winslow. Following the 2020 election, Republicans in 7 states sent fake elector certificates to what federal agency that preserves government records?
No answer.
It's the National Archives. and that's how we end the round. Out of time for our volleyball. Belvidere, you extended your lead a little bit. You're up to 150 points. Lena-Winslow still got some points that round. You are at 20. But like I said, the NECA IBEW Lightning Round, there's a lot of points available, 100 if you run a category, and we'll have that coming up in just a couple of rounds, well, the next round. But after this next break, you get a chance to play along with the Bergstrom bonus question, and we'll have the answer in just a minute or two.
Constructed in 1961 and measuring nearly 28 miles, the Berlin Wall divided which German city?
Halftime in Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl means it's pizza party time. That's what's on the line in our Bergstrom bonus question. If you're watching at home, you already saw this question. Our contestants haven't. Contestants, grab your buzzers because that's the only way to let me know if you know the answer to this. Again, Lino's Pizza and Pasta on the line. Here we go. Constructed in 1961 and measuring nearly 28 miles, a famous wall divided which German, David?
Berlin.
Yes, which German city? Congratulations, you get the pizza. Normally, it's a bigger reaction to the pizza party. Berlin Wall opened up in November 9th, 1989. If you want to see a portion of the wall, fun fact, Main Street Station Casino in Vegas has a sizable piece of it on display in the men's room. We'll be back with our NECA IBEW Lightning Round where there's lots of points on the line. Stay with us. You are ready for the fastest game or fastest round in our game, the NECA IBEW Lightning Round. At least I hope you're ready. Our contestants are ready. Look at their faces. They look completely ready. If you run a category here, contestants, you will add 100 points to your score. That could be a big difference when we get down to the wire here. Because of the coin flip, Belvidere gets first choice of the categories this week. David, those are stars, Italian Renaissance artists, and Super Bowl 56.
Recent one. Should we do that? Maybe. Yeah, kind of. Should we do it? Super Bowl 56.
You got it. A little bit of deliberation going on there between you and Lindsay. We'll see if that pays off. Answer the following about Super Bowl 56. You'll have 60 seconds to go through the category. Remember, both teams' advice, you can pass if you need to. Don't let that clock get you. Don't let it run out on one question if you're stumped. And then whatever Belvidere doesn't get to, you guys will have 30 seconds to clean up the points. David, are you ready for your first one? Answer the following about Super Bowl 56. This Los Angeles-based team won.
Rams.
Correct. This team from Ohio lost.
Bengals.
Correct. LA quarterback who threw 3 touchdowns.
Matthew Stafford.
Correct. This rapper performed Lose Yourself at halftime.
Eminem.
Correct. LA receiver named the game's MVP.
Cooper Kupp.
Correct. Trophy named for a former Packers coach given to LA after the game.
Lombardi Trophy.
Correct. TV network that aired it and broadcasts Sunday Night Football.
NBC.
Correct. LA's coach who became the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl.
Pass.
Former Broncos linebacker who had 2 sacks for LA.
Von Miller.
Correct. This play-by-play announcer for the game joined Amazon's NFL coverage in 2022.
Joe Buck.
Incorrect. LA's coach who became the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl. You blazed through those other ones really quickly. You had 80 to your score. There's 2 left, Will, for you. You only have 30 seconds for it. You can take all the time if you want, or if you want to move on, you can just say no answer or skip it, and we will get to the next category. But potentially, you could add 20 points to your score. 30 seconds is on the clock. Are you ready? Answer the following about Super Bowl 56. LA's coach who became the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl.
Pass.
This play-by-play announcer for the game joined Amazon's NFL coverage in 2022.
Pass.
LA's coach who became the youngest head coach to win a Super Bowl.
Pass.
This play-by-play announcer for the game joined Amazon's NFL coverage in 2022.
No answer.
You want to go back to that other one? Okay. They're the only two that no one got. Those are, and clearly they were the toughest of the group, probably. LA's coach was Sean McVay. And the play-by-play announcer who joined Amazon in 2022 is Al Michaels. So that's our first category. There is 2 left for you, Will. Those are stars and Italian Renaissance artists.
Italian Renaissance artists.
All right. Given a work, indicate whether it was created by Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, or Donatello. And just to be clear, we're not talking about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Could have fooled
These are
me.
the artists. You'll have 60 seconds. Again, same rules apply, and then David, you'll get 30 for what's left. Are you ready for the first one, Will and Sally? Indicate whether this was created by, one more time, Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, or Donatello. The Mona Lisa.
Michelangelo.
Incorrect. The Creation of Adam and other works on the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
Michelangelo.
Correct. The School of Athens.
Leonardo.
Incorrect. A drawing of ideal body proportions called Vitruvian Man.
Donatello.
Incorrect. A 17-foot tall marble statue of David.
Michelangelo.
Correct. A bronze sculpture of David created around 1440.
Leonardo.
Incorrect. The painting, The Last Supper.
Michelangelo.
Incorrect. A sculpture of Moses with horns.
Raphael.
Incorrect. The equestrian statue, Gattamelata.
Donatello.
Correct. The most expensive, and I could not get to that last one, we ran out of time. That's a tough category. You added 30 points to your score. There's a lot left, David, for you, 7 of them, and I will read them as fast as I can. You may be able to blaze through them if you've been paying attention, but I'll read as fast as I can. One more reminder. Given a work, indicate whether it was created by Michelangelo, Raphael, Leonardo, or Donatello. Here we go. The Mona Lisa.
Leonardo da Vinci.
Correct. School of Athens.
Raphael.
That's correct. A drawing of ideal body proportions called Vitruvian Man.
Da Vinci.
Correct. A bronze sculpture of
Donatello.
David. Correct. The painting The Last Supper.
Da Vinci.
Correct. A sculpture of Moses with horns.
Michelangelo.
Correct. The most expensive painting ever sold, Salvator Mundi.
Michelangelo.
Incorrect, and there's nothing to go back to. You cleaned up almost all of those points. In a tough category, to leave only one available, that's pretty solid. Belvidere's up to 290, Lena-Winslow is 50. That last one was a Leonardo da Vinci. That was actually sold in 2016 for $450 million. We have one round to play. It's the final one. That's why we call it the final challenge, and we'll have it for you right after this break. See you then. One more round to play in this week's Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl. It's the final challenge, and contestants, it's basically the same as round one, except each of these questions is worth 20 points. So hands on your buzzers. Let me know if you know the answers to these. Good luck to both teams. What devices, which contain a tube filled with inert gas, produce audible clicks when radiation is detected? Will.
Geiger counters.
That is correct, and you get the first points of this round. What instrument provides the nickname of Camille Saint-Saëns' Third Symphony, is sometimes operated with a bellows, and has massive pipe forms? Will.
Organ.
That's right, 2 in a row. In December 2021, the airport in Las Vegas was renamed in honor of what former Senate Majority Leader who died just 2 weeks later? Will.
Mike Pence.
Incorrect. Belvidere, you have a chance for these points. Lindsay.
Johnson.
Incorrect. Might as well say a name, right? You never know. It was Harry Reid. What poetic form used in John Donne's Death Be Not Proud and William Shakespeare's Shall I Compare Thee to a Summer Day? David.
Sonnet.
Yes, 14 lines long. Your first points of the round. You're above 300. The tomb of Napoleon is in what Parisian complex, originally built as a home for disabled war veterans? That was Les Invalides. William Faulkner set many of his novels in the fictional Yoknapatawpha County, which is in what southern... David.
Louisiana.
Incorrect. I will finish for Lena-Winslow. What southern state? Will.
Alabama.
Incorrect. You sandwiched it. Mississippi. The House of the Fawn is in what city on the Bay of Naples, which was preserved in volcanic ash by the AD... David.
Pompeii.
Yes, the AD 79 eruption of Mount Vesuvius. The Good Friday Agreement largely ended violence in what constituent country of the UK? David.
Northern Ireland.
Correct, where Unionists fought Republicans during the Troubles. In what film are General Aaron Moore's orders for Colonel Mackenzie carried on foot by 2 lance corporals in World War I during the title year? Will.
1917.
That is correct. What musical piece with a 7-word name, an excerpt from Act 2 of Edvard Grieg's Peer Gynt, is known for its increasingly frenetic tempo? David.
In the Hall of the Mountain King.
Yes, you got that. What molecule whose auto-ionization constant is the product of hydroxide and hydronium ion concentrations is known as a universal solvent? David.
Water.
Yeah, kind of a complicated definition for water. The Battle of Stamford Bridge fell 3 weeks before what battle at which Harold Godwinson was slain by... David.
Hastings.
That's correct. Forces under William the Conqueror in 1066. And that's how we end the game. The topping 400 points. And David answered, how many questions did David answer? 16 questions correctly. That's pretty close to a Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl record. Nice job, David. Nice job, Belvidere. You will be moving on. We'll see you in the next round. Lena-Winslow, Sally, and Will, first of all, we know you had an uphill battle from the beginning because you were short-handed, facing a very solid team, but we're glad you were here. We hope you had a good time. Are you seniors? Are either of you seniors? So you'll be back next season, despite how you feel right now, because we know that's probably not a good time to ask you that question. I'll let it sit for a little bit. We'll ask you in a few months. But we're glad you were here. Thanks for playing. We hope to see you next season, and we hope to see you next weekend for another Bergstrom State Line Quiz Bowl.